I know I'm incredibly late in getting to this, and I'll get to why later, but it's finally time to unbox the Dark Base 701 from Be Quiet. Okay, there it is, and it's upside down, so give me a second. And yes, you are seeing that correctly, it is the white variant. I know we haven't reviewed too many white PC components on this channel before. You also have your kind of box of goodies over here, and one thing I always liked that Be Quiet do is they include Velcro cable ties. They also have old, boring, environmentally unfriendly, turtle strangly plastic ones, which I have no idea why, when these are so much cooler, and they include both, so like, why bother? Taking a closer look at the inside, we see a couple of things that aren't fully white, like for example the thumb screws over here. Again, like whatever. The only real thing here that is black is the standoffs and also the screws mounting your 3 included fans, which are actually the Wings 4s, which are like the highest end model. So that's actually pretty nice to see here. Just to kind of show you how things go in, if there is a kind of nub in there to kind of, there we go. As you can see, it kind of rests on a little thingy on the screw in the middle, so you can easily screw everything in. Now this is an old black motherboard. The reason this video is so late is because I tried to get in touch with like motherboard makers and like GPU makers to try and get some white PC parts for this to really show off how awesome an all white build in this case would look like. However, you'd think my emails contain the plague, how much I ignored them, so I just sticking to using these old parts to kind of show what building in this thing would be kind of like. Now, as you can see, it takes up to 80x motherboards. Even though there is some kind of loose space here, it's mostly there just for easy kind of cable management through this hole over here. Now let's take a look at the back, if I can get these thumb screws off. They really don't want me getting into this case. I know it's literally called a thumb screw, but I do not have the arm strength or the patience for this, so screwdriver it is. That is interesting. Even if the thumb screw's off, I can't take it off. Is there anything else holding it in place? Okay, I ended up using a spatula and the back came off. One of the first things to note here is the fan/ARGB hub. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spare connectors here for your fans, and then 2 addressable RGB. Everything else is pretty much already wired up, and as you can see, kind of cable managed going up to front I/O, including all of the RGB and other stuff like the pre-installed fans. As you can see, there's a lot of these kind of channels and grooves everywhere as well, wherever you look, to really make the most of cable management and organization. Okay, and if I actually measure it out, you get around 4.5 centimeters from this main plane here to where the side panel is. So that is ample room for cable management, especially because it also has a pretty spacious basement for all of your messy cables from your PS2 and whatnot to just dump them there if you want as well. In terms of drive capacity, well, it's another case that needs to be scolded by me for not including any 5.25 inch bays. You can install up to 3.5 inch drives, which you can mix and match with up to 5 2.5 inch drives. One important thing of note here is that the top air vent, unlike in many other cases, it is not something you just easily detach or remove. It's integrated into this entire top section. So if you want to actually clean it all out and clean the dust filters, you are going to take this whole thing off. And what is with this case? Why can't I literally detach any of it? Okay, it's off, finally. So yeah, as you can see, it is all one piece that you can take off. Again, it's not as easy as in some cases, but it also means it kind of lays flat down and it's better integrated into the structure of the case. There's also quite a few things here that are supposed to make your life a bit easier. Like for example, the fact that these cable covers up here just come off just like this, and they are also kind of easy to put on like so. And because I know a lot of people are into that now, you can also mount your graphics card vertically over here up to a triple slot. And while Be Quiet do sell their own PCIe risers, keep in mind, especially if you're going for the white, it is going to be black. It may not fit in as much. Now let's talk cost. The MSRP for this thing is 240 euros, so it is definitely on the more expensive side. However, at the same time, I mean, Be Quiet have kind of proved themselves when it comes to cases and just the quality and the huge amount of little quality of life features here and there thrown in. So you really have to decide for yourself if a case is worth almost as much as an Intel graphics card. If you do have the kind of money spared, then you certainly won't regret it, even if at that point you may go for something a bit more fancy from Be Quiet or someone else. However, given how this is part of the dark line, it's obvious that it isn't a budget thing. If you want something like that, then one of the pure base cases is probably the better option. And if you want to grab this one, then our links to it will be up in the iCards and down in the video description below, where you're also going to find our Patreon, because even a single $1 a month truly goes a long way. Plus huge thanks to Gavin Burns, Justin Rage, Ella Roniak, Polish Roker, Patrick Harrison, Not a Pseudonym, Meg Sumner, and Shane Allcroft. But anyway, as I'm putting this case back together, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.